Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another exciting meeting at Interpersonal Toastmasters. At Interpersonal, it's all about you, right? You're getting it right because we concentrate upon your learning, your growth, and this all in Interpersonal Toastmasters. Today, we have our newest member, Jones, who is joining from Zambia. Let's give a big round of applause for him.
Right, Jones. He doesn't know what he's getting himself into, does he? No, just
Life has so many things, so many flavors, but humor is one of the most powerful flavor, which can elevate any moment, whether it is the saddest moment can be elevated with the power of humor. And you can win the hearts of everyone with the power of humor. Let us see, what does power of humor mean to our Toastmaster of the day, who is our past district division director, Toastmaster Ashvin Patel.
thank you, everyone. All right, give yourself some applause. We'll get some energy going here. As Toastmaster or DTM Rogu said, humor. Oh my God, humor has been in my blood since I was a little kid. Well, I wasn't that big as a little kid, but I could tell stories of grandmothers telling me what I used to do. And I still do that as I get older. I don't know what it is. I think humor got me through a lot of stuff. Humor got me through, you know, the pits and the falls and everything. So I implore you to embrace humor. But before I get started today, if it's okay, I would like to share a video of humor. It's a little contagious, so just bear with me. Yes, laughter is healing. I know it's very contagious, isn't it? So now that we got the mood started, I would like to start off this meeting with humor, or the ability to make others laugh is considered both an art and a skill. These days, the ability to tickle someone's little funny bone with an intelligent, tasteful joke can be an indicator of success at work. Now, the other benefits of being funny include what it strengthens our relationship, improves negative emotion, increases a person's attractiveness. You know, it enhances immune systems to disease, and it helps people cope with stress, encourages longevity, boosts creativity, and raises self-esteem. Right? To reap these benefits, you need to have what psychologists call the positive humor style. It means humor for reducing conflict and enhancing relationships. Although it's not rocket science, becoming more humorous does take some work on your part and the ability to know where to start, right? So whether you're already got your debut at the local comedy bar coming up, I know some of you have, or you have a huge corporate presentation to do and don't want to bore the audience, or you simply want a positive and fun challenge in life. These 3 hilarious ways to be funny. Now, I did 3, there's more, but Toastmasters loves the number 3, will help you keep your audience looking at the lighter side of things. 1, immerse yourself in humor through film. Soaking yourself up in humorous film is a wonderful way to develop your funny side. Now, a good point is to watch movies that find funny, right? Think about what you enjoy about the movies. Then you might try other movies with the same theme. Make sure you watch things that have actual depth in it, right? And in order to reap the benefits of the exercises. So use number 2, use your personal story as material. That tragedy when you locked yourself out of the hotel room with just a towel around your waist. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, some of you told me stories like that. Well, not unless you see that the funny side, allow yourself and others to laugh at your expense. All right, and that's a good way to inject humor into your personality. Number 3, learn to look without judgment. Most people will look at a situation and form their judgment about what's going on. However, this often leads to a negative outlook, right? Well, being judgmental actually prevents you from being funny. Your opinions will always be in the way of seeing the bigger and funnier side of a given situation. Don't go to that path. Learn how to stop being negative in that path. So in that aspect, I want you guys to laugh today. I want you guys to relax. Try to find humor even in your speeches. And remember that there's no judgment in this group. We're here to enjoy, to learn, to support each other. And you know what? I want to see smiles on everyone's faces. There you go. You get bonus points for that today. All right, guys. All right. Who's our first speaker for today? Yush. And your evaluator is? Arpana.
Yep.
Okay. Arpana, would you like to see what the purpose of Piyush's speech is today? And Piyush, is it 5 to 7 minutes?
That's right. It's 5 to
Okay.
7.
All right.
Aparna,
Aparna?
I think you
Hey,
can.
sorry, guys. Just give me a second. I
Oh, no
think
worries.
something's happening. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Yes.
You are speaking on mute, Aparna, if you are speaking. Why don't we shift to second speech while Aparna is fixing her camera?
Okay. Should we do the second speech then?
Yeah.
Okay. Our second speaker for today is Grace. Grace. And I am your evaluator. So give me 1 second too. Wait, I have your evaluation right here. As Toastmasters, we're always prepared, right? Yeah. I got it here. Here we go. The purpose of this project is for the member, Grace, to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of her team. And the purpose of her first speech is for her to give a short overview of the plan for her project. And Grace, your speech is 2 to 3 minutes, correct? Excellent. Timer?
Correct.
That? Yes. Whenever you're ready, Grace.
Today, let me share with you my plan for a project. And that is to help my club, our club, to earn the highest award, which is to be the President's Distinguished Club. Historically, our club was chartered way back in 2016 as part of a university. It was then called International Technological University Toastmasters Club. But it hasn't received any awards except in 2017 and last year when it receives its Select Distinguished Club Award. Nonetheless, it does not gain the highest recognition for the last 7 years. And here we are now, way 2023. And I think it is really fitting for us to earn that recognition. In order to be able to do this project, I will be working mainly with our club officers, the president, the treasurer, the vice president of public relations, and the vice president of membership. These 4 people will help me to successfully implement this project. Our president, Distinguished Toastmaster Suzanne, will help me in improving the program quality of this club. We are planning to revive the mentorship program, do open houses, and invite speakers from other clubs to make the session more exciting for everybody each week. I will work with our treasurer, Piyush, Toastmaster Piyush, to make sure that our renewals are on time. We will start sending up emails beginning this month to be able to see who's signing up for the next renewal. I will also work with our Vice President of Public Relations, Raghu. He wanted to be able to revamp our free Toast host website and also to be able to have an active online visibility in all our platforms. I invite you, Toastmasters, my fellow Toastmasters, club members and guests, to visit our Facebook page, like our YouTube page, and subscribe to be able to see all our recordings and how it can help you. You can also share that with your friends so that our club will be more known across the globe. I also invite everybody to please bring a friend each meeting so that we will have more people coming in on board with us. I will work with our Vice President of Membership, Toastmasters Catherine, to take advantage of several programs like Speechcraft and open houses to recruit more members. We will revisit and follow up our guests so that, like Jones, they will be onboarded to our group. One of the critical things that we have to be able to have this PDC award is to have 21 members. And with the renewals coming up, we're still trying to get more. So I invite all of guests here, if you really enjoy this, and I know that you would, please consider joining our club. I am sure that you will have a lot of things to learn from us as we come from different cultures around the globe. I will take advantage of our club officers meeting to talk about our updates. And let me present the success of this project as early as April of this year. I will surely tell you how we did go, especially with our membership, because that's the only one missing for us to be able to get that recognition, our highest recognition. My fellow Interpersonal Toastmasters, with your help and my team's help, let's make this a reality on our 7th year. Achieving the PDC award in June is the testament of our shared effort in making our club strong and relevant for everybody else all around the globe. Back to you. Toastmasters.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you for that great speech of how your plan is going to be coming to fruition. I think you're going to have a lot of members signing up with that speech. Well, thank you very much. Now, is our second speaker, first speaker, second speaker ready?
Yes, I am. Apologies for the earlier technical glitch
No,
there.
sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes, just
Don't
by
worry.
my phone just went on a blink and then I had to move the whole thing to my laptop. And it's just
No worries. No worries. Okay, so you could begin, Aparna.
Sure. Thank you so much for that. And we have our, first, second speaker now, the second speaker, Piyush, who's going to be taking up his level 3 project and the pathway as dynamic leadership. The project is to negotiate the best outcome. And the title of his speech today is How to Win Negotiations. Timer, please note the timeline's 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best, Piyush. Looking forward to hearing you. Over to you, Toastmaster Ashvin.
Thank you so much, Piyush, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashvin and Toastmaster Aparna. I'm going to talk about, as Toastmaster Aparna said, negotiation and how to win negotiation. But before that, on a lighter note, a disclosure. If you have a better half, a wife or a girlfriend, don't try to negotiate, let them win. With that, let's talk about what are some of the things or opportunities you come across in your daily life where you could negotiate. For example, you're buying something, you are at a store, you're buying vegetable or something. That's an opportunity to negotiate. Like if the shopkeeper says, hey, this is $10, you could say, can I get it for 8? You didn't say it, so you missed the opportunity. The shopkeeper would have said, sure, if you take 2, I'll give you for 8. Sure, why not? Another more important event or opportunity could be your annual reviews. If you're working in a company, it's your annual review time. Your manager is talking about, hey, what's the raise going to be this year? Negotiate. Remember, if you ask, you might get it. But if you don't ask, who knows? You're not going to get it, even if there was a chance. And a more common thing, the projects in your company, there are a list of stuff, and people are going to prioritize, hey, what are the 10 things we'll do this year among the 50 things in our laundry list? That's another opportunity for prioritizations. So as we established, negotiation is everywhere in your personal life, in your professional life. So what is negotiation in general? Is there a book definition for it? Maybe there is one. It's a situation where you and the other party find themselves in a win-win situation, or at least you think that it's a win-win situation. So before I get into some of the real life examples from my negotiation, how I handle it really well and how you can use it in your daily life, I will say a few things about negotiation. So before you start negotiation, you should have a clear goal in mind. Like, hey, what am I negotiating for? What is my objective? You should be clear on that. And your goal should be to find a common ground with the other party you're talking to, and be ready to walk away. Like, yeah, it doesn't have to like really find that common ground. If you think that there is no bridge between you and your other party that you're negotiating with, be ready to walk away. Like, remember, sometimes the shopkeeper just walked away. He'll call you like, hey, come back. We can agree on something. Make sure that you have some data points to talk about. Like, hey, this jeans, other place it's $10. Why you're saying 20? So have some data points to make your case on why you're asking, and it should be that way. The very first few minutes of the meetings, if it is a professional setting, are very important. Like that sets the tone of how the negotiation is going to go. And with that, I will head into one of the examples from my previous role in my company. There used to be 2 different teams. And as always, each team have their own KPI, the goals, the numbers to meet, while there's an overall company goal, and each team responsible for their own. So the team I was part of was primarily responsible for money, like revenue, cost, optimization, etc., while the other team owns more of a customer-facing side of the things, and they are more into customer experience, like NPS or what rating customer gives you based on how the website is from point of view of how easy it is to navigate, etc. So we clearly have two different goals, but at a high level, maybe they converge at some point. So how do we come to a place where I can make some money out of this project, and at the same time I don't degrade the customer experience? And we often, being part of one team, kind of get blindsided by what is the impact of this thing on the other metric. So how we did it in a collaborative style. That's one of the styles as per the course I went through in the Toastmasters. So collaborative style is one I've seen that works really well. And the first few minutes, what will happen is the leaders from these two groups, they'll set the tone. Like today, we are going to talk about the 20 different things that we all wanted to work on and make it a collaborative exercise. Everybody get a chance to have their opinion, and we all stack rank these projects towards the end of the meeting, and then find the 5 things that we really want to do as a team. So that a collaborative exercise, the first few minutes that the tone is set, everybody's clear with their goal, and collectively as a group, they find their side of the win in the project and rate these projects accordingly, and everybody finds a win-win situation. Another example of negotiation could be compromise. Not a great situation to be, but often you find yourself into it. So for example, let's say one team is more into acquiring more customers. And if you are in some credit card type of industry, you know that you have to pay money. Somehow you have to spend money to acquire customer. And over a period of time, as the customer try to buy more product with the website, they engage more and more, and that's how we get more money. So clearly there are two different goals of these two teams. One team is more into customer acquisition, has a cost. Another team is more into, hey, how do we make more money for the company, which you get later phase of the life of customer on the website. So in this case, clearly there are two different goals. So what might happen is this team who's on the customer acquisition might say, you know what, I'll give you a little bit of real estate on my platform, which is kind of a compromise for me because any resource I give it away for yours, mine is degraded a little bit. But it's a compromise. You all find something, some common ground. So that also works sometimes. One other style that I've seen that sometimes work when we are crunched on time is competitive. And usually that's done by the leader. Like you have like a couple of people that are coming to you with their projects, and you have to make a decision on what are the key things you will build. So you list down those products, and then you figure out what's the benefit of it. You list down these benefit high level. You figure out what's the cost to build this. And at a very high level, you estimate, guesstimate, and you make a decision. So that's a competitive style. So those are the couple of styles I wanted to call out. And you can always go to Toastmasters website, try to learn about negotiation and how to do it, different methods about it. And there is a really interesting book that was recommended. It's called The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. I highly recommend you to go through it if you're interested. So I will leave you with this thought. Negotiation is a core life skill. You have to have it. And if you're interested, Toastmaster, Robert Cialdini book, go read it. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Ashvin.
Thank you, Piyush. I do wholeheartedly agree with you. You can't negotiate with your wife or partner. I mean, you're exactly right. And that book is great. I do, like you said, recommend reading it. You'll learn a lot. Well, thank you very much for your speech, Piyush. Now we are going to have our little table topic session. Susan, are you ready for the TT of the day? Yeah, look at that. You're smiling. You get bonus points.
Did you know that today is Groundhog Day in the US and Canada? February 2nd when the groundhog is said to come out of its hole or at the end of its hibernation. And if the animal sees its shadow, the weather is sunny, it will bring about 6 more weeks of winter. And it is a very commonplace experience here on February 2nd. But also, the title of Groundhog Day can also be known as a situation in which a series of unwelcome or tedious events appear to be reoccurring in exactly the same way. In 1993, there was a movie starring Bill Murray, where every morning he woke up and it was February 2nd, Groundhog Day, all over again. So my questions are going to be based along that theme. I am first going to call upon Jim. Would you like to answer a question?
Sure.
Your question is, if you could relive any one day of your life, what would it be like?
If I could relive one day of my life, what would it be like? I would have to say that I would return to a town called Freeport, New York, where my dad used to live. My dearly departed dad used to live in Freeport. And he had a good friend who's from the country of Colombia. And this friend named Maria, she is the first person who introduced me to paella. Now, what paella is, it's like a seafood stew made with short grain rice and all kinds of other treasures that is just so good. And when she made it, it was the first time I'd ever had it, and I've been hooked ever since. I've never made my own paella, but it's definitely a goal of mine. And that is the one experience that comes to mind as to what I would relive with my dad and with Maria and with anybody else who wants to join. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Next up, I would like to ask Jones, our newest member. Would you like to answer a question?
Sure, Master.
Your question is, if you could go back and participate in any period of history, would you and why? If you could go back and participate in any period of history, would you and why?
Wow, thank you. They say you can change the future because of today, but you can't change history. History is an integral part of our lives because what we are doing today is based on the history that we have. And what we are doing today, we are shaping up the future. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, our country fought for independence. We gained independence in 1964. It's quite such a long time. From the stories that we've been told by our forefathers, there was bloodshed, there was oppression and apartheid. It took people to live in the bushes for so many years, for decades, without food. What I'm simply talking about is the slavery. When I go to the museums and archives to read about such stories, sometimes I even shed my tears because it is so traumatizing. However, we still have our forefathers who are still living, and they were part of that history to fight for independence. So it really pains me, and how I wish I was there to participate in that, because at the end of the day, you become a hero. I wish I could go back. I wish I was part of the team that fought for independence for my country, because it's just historical, and I must be unforgettable hero. Thank you, Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you so much. And I'd like to interrupt just for a moment to go to our grammarian for the word of the day. Jim, you just put it into the chat. Would you like to remind us of the word?
Sure. The word of the day for tonight is gravitas. 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 It's one of my favorite words. It is defined as high seriousness, as in a person's bearing, how they conduct themselves or how they treat a subject. It's a noun, and for use in a sentence, for example, Nelson Mandela, amongst other world leaders, was known for his tremendous gravitas. And it can be applied to other leaders as well, and actors and so forth. Gravitas, that's our word of the day for the evening. And let's try to use it as much as possible. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. I would just suggest that having the serious gravitas is quite the antithesis of our theme for today with humor, just the opposite. So we are going to move on to our next questions. Deanna, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to ask a few of the other guests as well to participate if they would like. We have several guests here that are Sylvia, Ramakrishna, Rosemary, and Vababi. If you would like to participate, please raise your hand as a reaction so that I could also ask you a question. We'd like everyone to participate as best we can. I know, Deanna, I know. Just a moment, hon. We'll get there. Okay. So, Deanna, for you, your question that you could write into the chat would be, if you could repeat any high school or college course, which one would it be and why? If you'll write that into our chat, thank you. Thank you very much. And how about our other guests? So one of them just hung up. Okay. Okay. Kaur from Malaysia, would you like to participate in a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. We welcome you. I have a question for you. And the question is, can you share an experience for which you would like a do-over? You'd like to do it all over again, and maybe with a different outcome, a do-over.
Thank you,
One to 2 minutes.
Master, for such a wonderful, for such a wonderful topic. Well, if I were to given a choice to do over, I would like to meet up with people or mix with people, those who can uplift me with high gravitas, that we able to learn from each other in every aspect and every circumstances, or in every happenings around us in our daily life, because nothing that we can appreciate much more if the gravitas, high level of gravitas from each other, even though in our downtime or in our happy time or in any things that we go through. And also, I hope that every one of us will learn to have a joyful way in how to interact with each other if I were to do everything all over. Sometimes we may speak things that is unintentionally, that may hurt someone, but which is not which is not meant to be. So everything that if I have a chance to do over with high gravitas, of course, it's crucial for everyone to maintain high gravitas in our daily life as we go along with all, mixing with all walks of life, to share with others, to cheers others, and to lift others. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for
Table topic
participating.
master.
I do see that Ramakrishna had the hand up but put the hand down. Would you still like to participate?
Yeah.
Okay, so the question for you, and Rosemary, I'll have you next, okay? Ramakrishna, what life experience would you like to relive over and over again, like a forever loop?
The most remembrance day in any person, it will be the college days. I presume the same for it will be the same for everyone. So for me as well, it's the college days where I graduated. I stayed up from my parents, and I lived in a town. I enjoyed my bachelor life over there, cooking, and then coming out of at the age of 15 years, and then cooking myself and traveling on the bus, going to college every day, meeting all new persons, making new friends, knowing about how to live in the society, how do we actually inculcate the new habits, and how do we learn, and how do we grow professionally, how do we enjoy our life being apart from the parents, is what the main thing that I would like to go back again, because that is the period where we learn more, and we would love to continue the same. And the friends, everybody who are with us, they will be with continuously, they will make us happy, and the moments are never unforgettable. Those memories are very good memories, which I would like to recall, and I would like to go back. Thank you.
Thank you so much for participating. Rosemary, you have the last question for us tonight. Your question is, can you describe an activity that you feel that it's like a repeating loop, like Groundhog Day? You need to unmute first so we can hear you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters and guests. An activity I will speak of, I am from the island of Dominica, not the Dominican Republic, the English-speaking Dominica. And every year around this time, we celebrate what is called Carnival. So this is like Groundhog Day because it comes every year from as long as I can remember. And during this time, there's the festive season where there's dancing and music and competition with different artists, those who can sing, those who can dance. Young children take part in that. And this starts at the end of Christmas and it ends in mid-February. And so every weekend there is some activity in some area on the island. And on the 21st and 22nd of February, there will be street jump up, Carnival street jump up. Now during that time, everybody comes out and everybody dances from sunrise to sunset. And if you are not there, you feel left out when people come to speak about what is going on and the jump up that is going on. During this time, you get a chance to relax and to feel, if you sometimes feel like you're not part of a team, you feel as part of a team because no one looks at the other, whether they are people with gravitas or who acts with gravitas or not, everybody comes on the same level. So you come, you have music, you jump up and you enjoy yourself. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone's responses. And I'll just go to Deanna's in the bottom because she was going to do hers online. So if I can find her response in here, Deanna, I'm trying to find it. I'm not seeing your response in the chat. I am not seeing it. Okay. I see that my time is up, but could you spare just another minute because I would like to end with a joke. that would be appropriate.
Absolutely, Susan, please do.
Can I
Yes.
read her response, Susan, if you don't mind?
Do you
Diana's
have it?
response.
I'm
Yeah.
not seeing it in the chat. Do you see it?
I see it.
Okay, please.
Gravitas, I would like to go to college to learn as better. Gravitas, and I want to learn in the college with the students. Gravitas is what Diana has mentioned.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. I wasn't able to see it on my scroll. May I just finish with a joke? So there was a husband and a wife, and he was rather forgetful. He never remembered birthdays, never remembered anniversaries. So one morning, she decided to say to him, I bet you don't know what day it is. And he said, of course I do, he answered indignantly as he slammed through the door and drove to his office. At 11 o'clock, the doorbell rang. The wife answered, and there at the door was a UPS driver. In his hand was a box with 12 red roses. Later at 2 p.m., there was another knock at the door. This time it was a deluxe box of Belgian chocolates. Eventually, the husband came home, tired after a hard day's work, and his wife greeted him at the door and said, first the flowers, then the chocolates. I've never had a more wonderful Groundhog Day in my life. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Excellent. I love that movie too. I think the best part about that movie too was when he was like trying to go after that lady, and he was in the French restaurant, and then the next scene was like like that. Like I would love to do that too. Just imagine if we had Groundhog's Day for Toastmasters. We would be like professional speakers in like 2 days, right, Raghu? Yes, Raghu's a professional speaker. There he is. Well, thank you, Susan. That was your questioning of table topics was gravitas. Does that count, Jim? I know it makes no sense. It's okay. It doesn't have to make sense. But thank you for your questioning, Susan. And now for our evaluation. Do we have a general evaluator, Raghu, or we just go right into evaluation? Okay. All
We
right.
don't use general evaluator. The Toastmaster does take care of everything.
Oh my God, he takes care of everything. Everyone gets a new car. There you go, baby. All right. No, just kidding. All right. All right. We're going to go into our first speaker, Grace. And guess who is her evaluator? It's me. All right. Timer. I am ready. Grace, excellent speech. You did fulfill your speech with a purpose. You told us you developed a plan about building a team and fulfilling your plan for what? Distinguished President's Distinguished for your club. Now, what is that? That is the highest level a Toastmasters club can give, correct? And you came out with energy. So what I'm going to do is I would like to tell you what I liked, a few things, and then I will tell you a few recommendations and some challenges you could do. What I liked, Grace, is your energy. You came in is what you were going to do. You had a plan that you were going to involve the president, the VPM, the VPPR. You told us about how you're going to work with them, but you also told us what you were going to do with them, right? For example, the VPPR, you're going to work with Raghu to get the website going. How are you going to get members in your club, right? How are you going to do that? I loved how you did that. You did that with energy. And you also explained that you're not going to do this alone, right? So I loved how you did that. Now, what I would recommend is why? Why are you doing a President's Distinguished? Why do you want that status? You know, let us know. It's because when you're a President's Distinguished, you have a strong club, right? Right? You have to fulfill goals. Tell me the challenges, right? What enables you to do that, right? Do you need to get, how many awards do you need to get? How many members you're going to get, right? Fill that in like a story, right? Kind of like, so that the viewer could tell like, hey, oh, you got a challenge, you could do it. Now you have a team that you're going to do it with, right? Now with a challenge that you could do also is that put some vocal variety in it. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Make it like a theatrical thing, right? Like get us involved in it, right? Like, you know how important this is? This is so important. But you know what? Don't worry, I have a team behind me, right? So put some little vocal variety in it. And I think you'll do well. I think, you have a lot of people signed up. I think you have a great plan, and I think you have a great team, and you're going to succeed. Thanks, Grace. Oh, it's my turn again. Oh my God, it's like, wait a second. Well, thank you very much, Grace, for that excellent speech. And for our next evaluator, Aparna, your turn.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ashvin. Truly appreciate your ability to wear multiple hats right now and swing back and forth. So kudos on that one. Really well done. So over to my evaluation for you, Piyush. I can't see Piyush. Is he online? Oh, he's here. Okay, lovely. And timer, I'm going to start now. So how to win negotiations, right? Was lovely as you started off. And the first thought that came to my mind was, if I wrote a book on how to negotiate, actually, I think I'm going to write, I learned so much from Piyush that I'm going to write a book on how to be a better negotiator. I'll take any prize for it. That's the first one I learned from you. Negotiate, compromise, make that line. Right? So really well done. Great speech. I'm going to and we talked about it, right? Toastmasters, we like number 3. So I'm going to go with that too. A little bit out what I think worked. Some areas, and perhaps at the cost of sounding a little critical here, Piyush, you've been speaking for a while. So a couple of things that I'd like to share there. And of course, wrap up with my observations. So those are the 3 steps that I'm going to take. So as always, great presence, great, command over the language, great pacing, great engagement. You have the right gravitas to create the impact on any topic. And I've seen that in the past. So great job done there. For me, what could have been better? Well, in that, before I go to what could have been better, I also want to add on, apart from the presentation, the content itself was done very well. You talked about you set the context well. Then you talked about sharing learning. So you didn't just leave it random. You talked to us about the 3 styles: collaborative, compromise, and competitive, as you'd learned them. Great personal story attached to the first one to be able to make it easier for people to understand. So it came in a nice structured manner, right? Moving on to what could have been better. Things like KPI, MPS. For those of us who are part of the corporate world, we pick up what it means. When we are talking to Toastmasters at large, perhaps you want to either explain or then use terms which could be different. So that was one. I would have loved to hear a personal story on the compromise and the competitive style as well, because you did share one for the first. The third thing that I'd like you to consider, and maybe this is how it reached on me, you want to let me know, but you talked about first, you said collaborative style, and then you said, at least that's what I think I learned on the Toastmaster website. Doesn't matter. The minute you put a shade of doubt on where you acquired knowledge from, none of us are going to go and check really. So sound a little more confident on where that knowledge came from. It would land in the right space for people to absorb and learn, right? Overall, as I said, I always love to hear you speak. So I think it went well. Being able to wrap up in time would be my recommendation. I've heard you in the past. So a little practice around how you would close, because you started so beautifully, you transitioned well, and had you practiced a little on wrapping up, it would have been a flawless presentation. Thank you so much for allowing me to evaluate, and all the best for all your other speeches. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Ashvin.
Thank you, everyone. That was great evaluation. Thank you so much. Before we continue, Raghu just posted a form on the chat. If you could take a few minutes to share your feedback of the meeting, that would be great. Now, everyone, I want you to unmute yourself, and I want you to say one word. Gravitas.
Gravitas.
Okay, so everyone gets a winner today.
Gravitas.
Does that count,
Gravitas.
Jim? No, that doesn't count. You got to use it in sentence. I know. Well, thank you all for now. I know other Toastmasters meeting, we go into the general evaluation, but do we have a table topics winner or something, or no? That's it. We go a summary.
The functionary reports from the grammarian, the timer, and the counter.
Thank you, Susan. All right, we will proceed with our functionary report. Let's start off with the grammarian.
Thank you very much. And
Absolutely.
there were some interesting turns of phrase used tonight. I'd like to go over some of them. First of all, yourself, Ashvin, when you introduced that opening film of the laughter, you said, laughter is contagious. And that is so true. And there are so many other words that could be used, but that stuck with me. Piyush, during your presentation, you had said that, you had said, that part of negotiation is you want to estimate, guesstimate, and then make a decision. And near the end of your speech, Piyush, you said that negotiation is a cold life skill, or that's how I heard it. Very interesting turns of phrase by you. Much appreciated. In terms of those who use the word of the day, gravitas, Susan used it, Cor used it, Rosemary, Deanna, Ashvin used it, and Aparna used it. Excellent. That's the grammarian's report for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim, for that excellent grammarian report. And now for our counter.
I kept saying but no, it was very difficult to catch us and homes today. Everyone tried to be clean, but I still did some cleaning job. Our speaker, Piyush, had some asanas and also short pauses. So what I would suggest him next time, instead of asanas, you can take support of pauses. When you take support of pauses, it helps you to eliminate these crutch words. That has helped me in my journey. Next was Ramakrishna in table topics, who had the same issue. I know that you are still, yes, you are trying to practice your impromptu speaking, but there's always a room of improvement, and the feedback can be utilized to improve. Next time that you're trying to attempt your table topic or any kind of speech, try to slow yourself and then let mind do the processing. And when you take this pauses, it will help you a lot to clean your speeches. When it came to Madam Kaur from Malaysia, what I loved about your speech today is you have made our grammarian very, very happy. In just one topic, I used gravitas 5 times, and then such a clean speech in table topic. I'm impressed. Everybody else was great, especially when it came to Rosemary. Her command and language was impeccable, I would say. Impeccable, not impeccable. Overall, I enjoyed the meeting, and being an accountant was so easy. I didn't even have to count anything because you guys were doing an awesome job. Wish you all the best, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Raghu. I know, because I think you fell asleep. So I think that's the time. Yeah, I know you. I know your tricks of the trade. I've been with you a long time. All right, now for our timer report. How did our speakers and evaluators do, Madam Timer? Catherine? Oh, Catherine.
Okay, Catherine seems to have issues. She has left me the report.
Okay.
First speaker, Grace, was supposed to speak for 2 to 3 minutes, but she took 6 minutes to finish her speech. Now, second speaker, Piyush, was supposed to speak for 5 to 7 minutes, but I doubt the reporter is given by timer. So she says that she took 7 minutes, 30 seconds. But that is okay. You're becoming DTMs. Don't time me. Don't time me. TTM Susa. Now, when it came to table topic master and table topic section, Jim took 2 minutes, Jones 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Madam Court completely utilized the time, which is master thing. 2 minutes, 30 seconds exactly. Ramakrishna took 2 minutes. Rosemary took 2 minutes, 30 seconds. My God, you are awesome. You both are awesome. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, complete utilization of all the seconds granted to you. Go to Toastmasters.
Thank you, DTM Raghu. And Catherine, thank you for sending your report to Raghu. It's important that we stay within our time, but this isn't a contest. It's okay. Go and talk. Who's restricting us from talking? He's like, what is these time limits anyways? Thank you all for coming. What time is it? Oh my goodness. Thank you all for coming. And just a quick summary, believe that you could be funny. And you remember, laughter, inject laughter in your life, regardless of what it is. But, there's a time and place for it, right? Maybe not at a funeral or anything, but sometimes you have to read the room and kind of like look at what's going on. But I believe that laughter can help. And I think that it's contagious. And I think that everyone should have it in their lives. Thank you for having me as a Toastmaster of the day, everyone. And you guys did excellent with your speeches, and Susan with your table topics and all the functionary roles and the evaluators. Just kidding. Thank you, everyone.
And before we break, I would like to just make an announcement that our officers, I'd like you to stay on for a few minutes after the meeting. We'll talk about our club success plan. That'll be in alignment with Grace's project. And I would like to hear back from our guests today before they leave. How did we do? Core from Malaysia, did you enjoy our meeting? And will